Hello and welcome to Rebels Radio latest interview. I'm joined by Slough Joint Manager John Underwood. How are you, John?
Very well, thanks.
Had a bit of time now to reflect on the 2-0 defeat away at Bideford. What do you make of it?
Still disappointed, to be honest. Very frustrating afternoon. We went down there. We wanted to win that game and get ourselves back on track. Obviously had the heavy defeat against Poole the week before, and we saw it as a chance to bounce back. And from a number of points of view, it was very frustrating. I actually thought we played very well from about 13 seconds in to through the rest of the game. I thought we were the better side. It was just one of those days. It just didn't happen for us. From a number of points of view, how we didn't score, I'll never know. We've had 2 disallowed. We've hit the post. We've had a blatant penalty turned down, and we've missed some good chances. And it was an all-round a day to forget, really.
But meanwhile, you didn't have too much, despite the scoreline being quite flattering. You didn't really have that much defending to do.
No, I think I heard Luke was made man of the match. I think he barely had a save to make. He had the goal in the first seconds, and then a penalty went past him. But we spent most of the game attacking.
I see in the local paper and the local press down there, they did make Steve Oliver, the Bideford keeper, their man of the match.
Yeah, their keeper made some very good saves. I think a few times we should have been more clinical, not giving him an opportunity to make a save. As I said, with the chances we had, there should really have been 3 or 4 goals for us there Saturday.
So disappointing to take no points out of 6 after, as you say, a heavy defeat against Poole, followed up by another game where you failed to score. You worried?
No, not worried. I think you have these spells. We've been scoring a decent amount of goals all season. I think the front boys have been chipping in with goals. Eddie and Hatchett, particularly in the last couple of months, have scored the majority of our goals. And they've both kind of dried up in the last couple of weeks, and that won't carry on. They're both too good a player to for that run to go on much longer. But maybe we need a few players from elsewhere to chip in. Maybe we need a centre half to pop up with a header from a corner, or a midfield player to score. We can't always rely on our front players. It was our 3 forward Saturday who had the bulk of the chances and didn't take them, and they all put their hands up afterwards and admitted they should have done better. Maybe we need to chip in other areas of the pitch as well.
So looking overall, having failed to take those points, has that made that gap to the playoffs just that bit too far? Or do you think that, last time you lost a few games in a row, back in last season over that Christmas period, you came on a storming run after that and won lots of games and really pushed then?
Yeah, I don't want to say that we're out of the picture, but clearly the odds are stacked against us now. There's a fair gap now to the playoffs. We'd need an outstanding run to the end of the season. I do think we're the sort of side that can get on that run. But, we hope that would be, when we beat Weymouth, we hope that would be the signal to kind of kick on and push for the playoffs. And to pick up 1 from 9 since then has been very disappointing. And, you can accept getting beat by Poole, but 1 point from Burnham and Bideford, and no respect to those 2 sides, but for where we're trying to get to, 1 point from those 2 games wasn't enough for us.
So what have you been doing this week to kind of take action against that and to bring the squad up?
Well, we've trained twice. We did a physical session on Tuesday, and we were up at the Polish Club tonight for a football session. As always, the boys trained very well, worked hard. They always do. Never any issues with that. So tonight we had to be a little bit careful in terms of, we are thin on the ground. We are carrying injuries, and we had to make sure we didn't overdo it tonight in terms of how physical the session was, and we asked the lads not to go flying into any challenges because they're quite competitive when they train, but we just couldn't afford to pick up another injury tonight. But we didn't pick up any in training, which was pleasing.
Talking of injuries, what are the latest situation? Obviously, Guy came off with what looked like quite a nasty ankle injury.
Yeah.
And Sears, is he back and around and fit quite yet?
Every week we say we think Sears is nearly there, and it's been 4 weeks now. Really frustrating. He rolled his ankle in training, and we thought it'd be maybe 2 weeks, and as I say, now it's 4, and he's still not fit for Saturday. He keeps thinking he's nearly there. He's done some running, he's done some straight work, but any kind of twisting and turning, his ankle's not quite right. So he misses out. Ben Edwards misses out. You know, Ben had come back from a groin injury last Saturday. He did 80 minutes with no problem at all, and then his groin went again. So those two still miss out. George isn't ready yet. So we're actually missing 4 central midfielders on a Saturday.
So where does that leave you with the squad? What are you going to do about it?
Well, we've been busy. We've been on the phone this week, and tonight we have signed 3 players. So one lad trained with us tonight, Liam Malone, who's previously with Oxford City. He began this season with Oxford City in the Conference North. He's been there for several years. Had a spell with Chesham before Christmas. He came to our attention, and he's trained tonight, and he's signed tonight. We just need that transfer paperwork to go through. With Chesham, there should be no issues with that. So he's a kind of a combative, hard-working midfield player. He's been around a little bit. So he comes into the squad. We've also signed 2 on dual registration from Wealdstone. So we thank Gordon Bartlett there for his support with that. So one of those will probably be familiar. A lad called Dan Brown, who has been at Maidenhead for a number of years, played regularly for them in the Conference South. He joined Wealdstone this season. He's just had an injury. He's been out for the last few weeks, so they've done quite well in his absence, and he just needs a couple of games. So we've brought him in, and the third one won't be known to our supporters. It's a Dutch lad. He was pro at Watford. He's been playing out in Turkey professionally. He's 20, 21, very gifted midfield player. And he's been training with Wealdstone for the last month, but they've done quite well recently, so he's not. Gordon hasn't had a chance to throw him in yet, so he's quite keen to see where he is and where he's at. So he's let us have him and Brown for at least the next 2 games, Saturday, Tuesday, and then we'll have to see, obviously, where they are and where we are after that. So.
Do those 3 go straight into the matchday squad?
They do. They'll all go into the squad Saturday. Obviously, we've just got to make a decision on what side we go with.
With a dual reg, is it sometimes that you get put pressure on to actually start those players, or are they okay to come across and sit on the bench?
Being honest, Dan Brown's joined us to play. He'll come into the side on a Saturday. The other lad is a slightly different situation. So. Yeah, we've taken Brown on the basis that we can give him some football, so he'll come straight into the side. Dual registrations, they're very much, it's quite a vague arrangement. Things can change in football in days. They might pick up 3 injuries Saturday, and they, despite the fact they've said you can have him Saturday, Tuesday, you might need to call him back. You just never know. They might win their next 3 games and not pick up any injuries and not need him. You just don't know. You enter these things with a bit of an open mind. We're lucky that we've got some good relationships with managers at different levels, and Gordon's someone we get on very well with, and he obviously trusts us to do the right thing with these players, and it's a good arrangement for us, for Gordon, and for the players. And with the other lad, with Liam Malone, he's not a lad we know well. He comes very well recommended. He's obviously been playing a good level of football, so he'll have no problems there. We'll just see how that one pans out. Us and the player are going into it kind of on a let's see how it goes type of basis, and we'll see what happens in the coming weeks. He may turn out to be a short-term signing. He may turn out to be someone who's with us this season and next. You just never know with these things. But the primary objective was to bolster the squad short term, and that's what we've done.
Yeah, and obviously with Corby in mind on Saturday, it's going to be a big challenge. High flying, only 1 defeat, I think, in their last 11 after a great unbeaten run of 10, lost to a penalty on Saturday away at Poulton.
Yeah,
and really pushing for playoffs, if not automatic promotion.
Yeah, they're a very, very good side. As you said, they've been on a great run. They're used to winning games. Myself and Bakes went and watched them a couple of weeks ago when they won 4-2 at Hitchin on a Monday night, and we were very impressed. They looked a lot better than they did when we played them. I think on that night we stopped them playing, but I thought they looked very, very dangerous. They had a lot of pace, a lot of movement going forward. They've got a lot of players with a professional background. They've got sprinkled throughout the side. They've got a lot of quality. and they're the sort of side that, you know, they're set up to challenge to win the league. They're set up to be a playoff side minimum, and that's what we'd expect them to be. So yeah, very tough game.
What would be a good result on Saturday? Is it about the result? Is it about the performance?
It's about the result, because the performance was good last Saturday and we came away with nothing. So, you know, I think if we'd have gone and beaten, you know, if we'd beaten Burnham recently, beaten Bideford recently, you'd say point against Corby would be another good point to add to the tally. But when, you know, as we've said, 1 point from 9's not enough, and we need to do what we did against Weymouth. We need to come flying out the blocks, and we need to upset one of the high flying teams. So that's what we'll aim to do.
And good to be back at Holloway's Park.
Yeah, we quite enjoyed we quite enjoy the away trips, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, to be honest, it doesn't matter where we play. You know, we need to the results what matters, and we need to give a Weymouth type performance, not a Poole type performance. You know, we've played two of the top three, Corby being the third one, and we've given two very different performances, and we need to make sure that we gave Poole a leg up in that game with a soft goal early on, whereas Weymouth, we flew out the traps and we got in front very early, and we need to have that kind of start if we're going to get anything from the game.
Good. Well, we look forward to seeing as many Slough fans as possible down there to cheer on the Rebels. Look forward to a good performance and hopefully a celebration afterwards.
Let's hope so. Cheers, John.
Thanks.